Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for So You Think You Know Stow, or do you? I am Kelly Lawler, and I am from the Stow Cultural Council. The Stow Cultural Council awards grants to local individuals and organizations to support projects in the arts, humanities, and interpretive sciences. And it supports events that bring our community together, like this one this evening. Calls for proposals will be coming up this fall, so if anybody would like to send their application for a grant to the Stow Cultural Council, you can see our website here on the screen. It's at the stow-ma.gov website, which has all of our town information, and then you can also click on our Cultural Council page. The mission of the Stow Cultural Council is to, could you go back, John, to the last slide? Just back one slide. Oh, perfect. Okay, the Stow Cultural Council defines its mission as follows: to create a closer-knit community in Stow by sponsoring and supporting activities and events that bring the diverse elements of our community together for enjoyment and cultural enrichment. So this week is what we're calling Culture Fest. It's the first time that we've done this. Traditionally, we put on a huge art exhibit at the town hall, but this year that kind of got sidelined, so we decided to try something different. All right, so we've had 4 fabulous days, and this is our 3rd event. Tomorrow is our last event. So on Monday, we kicked this off at the library with something called Hidden Cultures with Briar, and we had a land acknowledgement from a Métis resident of Stow, and she also did a dance. And then we had an art and a reading activity with kids that came and watched at the library. So the library is interested in continuing to do a Hidden Cultures event throughout the fall and starting the school year. So if any other families are interested and want to share their cultural heritage, please contact the Stow Cultural Council or the Randall Library. All right, so our main work is to provide funds for projects that help to bring our community together. And tonight we're going to work on this project to share stories about Stow's history. So we have a set of questions, and that Meredith is going to explain exactly how we're going to go about this evening.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Kelly. And I'm Meredith Wood, and I serve on the Cultural Council with Kelly and some fantastic other volunteers in the town of Stow to do this really fantastic work. And we're thrilled to have you all here with us tonight. And we are excited to learn some fun facts about our town. And we're super grateful for Stow TV for helping us get this out here tonight, and to the Stow Historical Society for all of their great stewardship of the fantastic resources and history of our town. So without further ado, I think we're ready to play some trivia.
Yes. Can we just, John, do you mind if we just go back? I forgot to talk about the grantees that the Stow Cultural Council awarded this year, and so I didn't want to miss that. Perfect. So right here, this slide. I just wanted to remind everybody that we do announce in the spring, whenever we award grants to different individuals and organizations. It is posted on our website, and anytime we have an event, we do like to really talk up our wonderful grant awardees. So the Randall Library, we awarded them money for the summer reading program. The Girl Scout Troop for their outdoor mural on Hartley Road, so please keep an eye out for that coming soon. The Sounds of Stow for their concert series for the 2021-2022 year. Howie Newman for Music for Seniors. Anna Celestra Carr for All My Relations. That's an art exhibit that is actually happening in just a month. So there's still time to get your art submissions in and to have a shot at that competition, that contest. The Clear Path for Veterans of New England, Photography for Beginners. Virginia Thurston's Healing Garden, Nature and Art Therapy. Stow Conservation Trust for Leggett Woodland Story Walk. That's something that I actually was just talking to our amazing youth library services Chris Morrison at Randall Library. I'm really excited to get my kids to see that story walk. I've never been to Leggett Woodlands before. Donna Dodson, the Amazons Among Us. Some local people in Maynard may have seen her work before. Mm-hmm. And the Discovery Museum for their open door connections. So the next slide, I think we have, is that everybody who we had?
That's everybody.
For this year. And then these are the 3 different events that we've had so far for the Culture Fest. Monday we had Hidden Cultures. Tuesday we had the Art of Cooking. All of these events were recorded thanks to Stow TV, so you can still check them out on YouTube or even Facebook. And so you think you know Stow is going to be recorded tonight. So if anyone, the competition, you have to email by 8, but you can always watch this later if you want to know more about your town.
And the last event of our 2021 Cultural Fest, we're so excited to be able to see everybody in person tomorrow night. We've got some live music and dance performances at Pine Bluffs. It's family-friendly live performances. We'll be there from 5 to 7:30, and really, really looking forward to that. We'll do another plug for that at the end of this as well, because we can't wait to see everybody. Anything we forgot, Kelly, or you think we're good? Thank you to all of our partners for making Cultural Fest a success. Could not do this without all of our fantastic partners in town. So thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. So hopefully you all have your pens and paper handy and are ready to send these emails and keep track of your answers and learn some fun facts about Stow. So we can move on to question 1. Thanks so much, John. Perfect. Question 1. The Randall Library, named for John Whit Randall, celebrated its centennial or 100-year anniversary in what year? A, 1984, B, 1994, C, 2004, or D, 2014? 20 seconds on the clock.
Good questions here. And question number 2 for this evening, we hope we're not going too fast for you. The Stow West Schoolhouse taught students in one room beginning in 1825. Does anyone know when it closed? A, 1826, B, 1893, C, 1903, or D, 1925? 20 minutes. Seconds.
Man, one room, Kelly. I bet there are a lot of parents who can probably appreciate the challenges of teaching multiple students in multiple grades in one room after this year.
Quite a lot to handle.
Thank you to all the parents out there for all the work that you're doing to keep everybody afloat. All right, question 3. The Stow Historical Society, our partners this evening, was founded by what lifelong Stow resident? Was it A, Howard Gleason, B, Franny Warren, C, Ellie Childs, or D, Ralph Kroll? 20 seconds.
Excellent. And so that last question, Meredith and I have only lived in Stow for 2 to 7 years between us, right? So we do not have all this information, but we're definitely just soaking it up right now. Some people may know this answer. What year was Stow officially incorporated? Was it A, 1673, B, 1683, C, 1693, or D, 1703? Think about it.
All right. I know it's still the heart of summer, but this question has us thinking fall. What fall staple was developed right here in Stow by Charles Leggett in 1944? Was it A, the McCown apple, B, the sugar pumpkin, C, the butternut squash, or D, the acorn squash? They all sound pretty good right now, but 20 seconds on the clock.
Excellent. We are having this like cool down, so I know some of us are ready for the beach again before we get into that fall weather. All right, question number 6. True or false? Stow sent Minutemen to Lexington and Concord in 1775. A or B? True or false?
All right, this next one's kind of neat. I think, as we all know, towns used to change borders and boundaries a lot as things were sort of settling to where they are present day. But what present day town did Stow not cede land to between 1773 and 1871? Was it A, Maynard, B, Hudson, C, Shirley, or D, Acton? What do you think? Let us know. 20 seconds.
I was recently reading up on all of the land that Stow originally owned, so it is really interesting how many different local towns got some of our tract of land.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
Question 8. What was Stow known as to European settlers prior to its official incorporation? A, Pompasiticate Plantation, B, Pompasiticate Forest, C, Stow Forest, or D, Randall's Mill? What do you think?
This question I love because it's so fun to sit and eat breakfast and drink my coffee and watch the airplanes. But before the airplanes moved into what is now the airfield in town in 1963, what were the only things that used to fly from Erickson's Fields? Was it A, their chickens, B, hot air balloons, C, messenger pigeons, or D, weather balloons? 20 seconds.
All right, question number 10. True or false? The Randall House, home to John Witt Randall, is now the clubhouse at Stow Acres. A or B, true or false?
So obviously, John Randall was such an important part of town history and name of the Randall Library, among many other things. But he had a pretty famous great grandfather too. Do you know who it was? Was it A, John Adams, B, John Quincy Adams, C, Samuel Adams, or D, Benjamin Franklin? 20 seconds.
All right. And question number 12. And this kind of has a two-part. There's an important vocabulary word in here that you'll have to understand the background of. But what is the regicide's grave in the Lower Village Cemetery? A, the burial ground of King Charles I. B, where one legend states that William Gough, one of the singers of the warrant that led to the beheading of King Charles I, is believed to be buried. C, an empty tomb to discourage loyalty to the crown. Or D, the burial ground of Oliver Cromwell. What is it?
All right, this one's pretty neat too because I know there's some really fantastic old houses and old buildings in town, and the Historical Society has on a couple occasions done tours of some of these houses too, bus tours. So keep an eye open for those. But what is the oldest house in Stow? Is it A, the Boaz Brown House, B, the Randall Hale House, C, Captain Whitman's house, or D, Minister's Manse? 20 seconds.
I hope everyone at home is liking these questions. I do see a lot of traction on our Facebook page. Question number 14. I think people will know this answer. I think this one's going to be an easier one. Question 14. The land that is now Stow was first inhabited by what Native Americans? A. The Wampanoags. B. Mohicans. C. Nipmucks. Or D. Penacooks. 20 seconds.
All right, question 15, and this one, we've had so much rain this July that I know sometimes it can feel like we've had lots of major storms, but there was a super major hurricane that hit Stow, and what year did that happen? Was it A, 1918, B, 1928, C, 1938, or D, 1948? What do you think? 20 seconds.
All right, so we're up to question 16. This is a long one here, so bear with us, but I do just want to put a plug in for the Historical Society. We use them as our resource, and they actually have a few publications that you might want to check out if you would like to learn more than just what we're offering in this trivia here tonight. So definitely check them out online. So, 16, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts separated church and state by law in 1834. What prompted Stow to formally separate its primary church and town hall in 1847? A, was it a mandate from the governor? B, protests from the townspeople? C, the town's fourth meeting house being burned down? Or D, a change in architectural trends at the time?
All right, Kelly, we gave you all the long questions. Sorry about that. You're just so good at it. All right, question 17, just a few more to go. And this one's an easy one for all the parents and kids in town. But what year do school children in Stow learn all about town history? Is it A, second grade, B, third grade, C, fourth grade, or D, fifth grade? 20 seconds.
Nice. And I hope a lot of our young listeners enjoyed that question. Hopefully, they could help their parents out with that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, question 18 is, for whom is Lake Boone named? Is it A, after Daniel Boone, B, after Patrick Boone, C, Charles Boone, or D, Matthew Boone? What do you think?
All right, another Lake Boone question. we all know Lake Boone has lots of different parts and lots of fun things to do on it, especially in the summer. But how deep is it? At its deepest point, how deep is Lake Boone? Is it A, 23 feet deep, B, 43 feet, C, 103 feet, or D, 123 feet? What do you think? 20 seconds.
All right, and we're to our last question. Thanks everyone for hanging in there and holding on and listening to all these questions and writing down what answers you thought were best. This is my favorite question about women. So the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920, giving women the right to vote. 171 Stow women registered between August 14th and October 23rd of that year. This represented what percentage of eligible women voters in town? This is a tough one. A, was it 22%? B, 42%? C, 62%? Or D, 82%? What do you think?
Yay, everybody we made it through. So, and as Kelly mentioned, we've got some fantastic grantees this year who have a lot of programming going on, and there will be a call for proposals for new projects coming up later this year. So if you want more information about how to get involved or about any of the work that we do, you can email that same email, stowculturalcouncil@gmail.com, or you can visit us on the stow-ma.gov website, where it talks more about what we do and the grants that we have awarded. And John, if you don't mind going to the next slide as well, and to learn more about the Stow Historical Society. I'm sure these questions just made you super curious for all the details about town, but you can learn more. You can volunteer with the Historical Society, or you can sign up for their newsletter. You can email either info@stowhistoricalsociety.org or visit their website at stowhistoricalsociety.org. Say that 5 times fast. Excuse me.
And those newsletters are fascinating. So definitely sign up for that newsletter.
Super interesting. And there are some great ones, especially, I mean, I've got fall in the brain clearly tonight, but there are some great ones around all of the cemeteries in town. Fun stories for Halloween, if anybody else like me is thinking fall. But thank you again to the Historical Society for their help. And we hope to see you all tomorrow evening for our free concert at Pine Bluff starting at 5. This has been awesome, Kelly. Thanks so much for hanging out and playing some trivia with us. And we can't wait to see everyone's answers.
All right. Bye.